Hey everyone, welcome back to Champion the Passion, a weekly pro wrestling podcast where we inspire you to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. I'm your host, my name is Victoria Daisy, and today we're going to be recapping everything that happened last night on NXT. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. But let's get right into the action, because the very first thing we saw on NXT last night was a match between Bayley and Cora Jade. Now, this was a pretty good match, I gotta be honest. It was great to see Cora in the ring with a vet like Bayley. I mean, it's definitely very good for her to get those reps in. Now, there was a lot of cool moves and sequences and moments and yada yada. If you guys want to go watch it, you definitely should. But the tea kind of happens at the end. Now, Roxanne Perez came out, and she came out with Bayley's old music, in Bayley's old gimmick and gear, as a hugger. Now, my theory is that she wanted to distract Bayley, but I don't think she wanted Cora to win. And obviously, she's a little munchkin from Munchkinland. She got a munchkin-sized brain because she did not think this one through. Because in the end, Cora Jade won. And I was just so confused why she did that. She is not the brightest of human beings. But Cora and Bayley and they were all fighting, whatever. Ava comes out, my queen, to announce that the match of Vengeance Day between Julia, Bayley, and Roxanne is now going to be a fatal four-way, including Cora Jade. So this is going to be very interesting because now Julia has to defend her title against 3 other women, one of them being a vet. And this is going to be very, very, very interesting. Now, moving along into the next thing that happened on the show, we had an Oba Femi segment. He was talking about how A-Town Down Under will gang up on him in their triple threat match at Vengeance Day to try and get rid of the ruler, aka Oba Femi. Before he could continue talking, A-Town Down interrupts him. They come out trying to put themselves over, as good heels do, in the most cocky way possible. Grayson says he will do whatever it takes to win that NXT championship, and then Austin Theory got mad. Obviously, it's very tricky when you have a tag team in a triple threat match, because they're either going to work together or turn on each other. And I think in this case, they're going to finally turn on each other. This is something we've wanted for a very, 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 very long time. And then the same thing happened vice versa. Austin said he will do whatever it takes for him to win the NXT championship. And they got mad at each other. They started pushing each other and laying hands on each other. And I'm telling you, I'm calling it right now, they will break up on Saturday. Now, speaking of Vengeance Day, it's still pending. I might have 2 bonus episodes. Actually, I don't know if I will. I might do a preview on Friday for Vengeance Day, but I might not do a recap. And if I do, it'll be on Monday, because I think on Sunday I'm busy. So look out for a recap of Vengeance Day on Monday morning and a preview on Friday. And then obviously our traditional regular scheduled programming: Tuesday, Monday Night Raw recap, Wednesday, NXT recap. Anyways, so back to the show. Then we transition into a Ava backstage segment. So she's back there with Javon Evans. She basically announces that Javon is cleared to wrestle on Saturday against Ethan Page, but if he gets re-injured in his jaw, then he could be out of wrestling indefinitely. This is not a light injury. This is a very serious one. Basically, Javon said that that's a risk he's willing to take, and WWE and Ava decided to make him sign a contract that, WWE is not liable for anything that happens to him, since this is on his own account. He was advised to not wrestle, but he is cleared. So we'll see what happens. I hope he doesn't get injured, because I do believe that this is not a work. I believe this is an actual shoot, unless I'm just hallucinating. I don't know. They kind of got a fake doctor, so sometimes you can't tell when things are real or fake in WWE, which I love. Makes me keep guessing and wondering. But let's move on into a triple threat tag team match between No Quarter Catch Crew versus Josh Briggs and how did the freak do you say his name? Yoshiki. No, they said it on TV and I took it down. I wrote it down and I just forgot. Yoshiki. There we go. Yoshiki Inamura. That's a hard name to say. It was an okay match. I mean, nothing interesting. In the end, Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura Hey, look at me pronouncing. They won. But the most important part of this entire segment happens right after they won. Nathan Frazier and Axiom, aka Fraxium, interrupted to say that they think that they have officially earned and that they deserve a tag team title opportunity. So we don't know exactly when that match is going to happen. It is yet to be announced, but we do know that the tag champs themselves have come out and said that they want to face Josh and Yoshiki next. I don't know if that's next week. I don't remember if that was for Vengeance Day. Oh, that actually might have been for Vengeance Day. Okay, I'm doing my job incorrectly now. I totally forgot to write that down. Or is that for next week? I don't freaking know. We'll find out Friday when I preview Vengeance Day. Wow, if you saw my episode yesterday of me recapping Monday Night Raw, I was this silly goofy. I don't know what's up with me. I mean, I've been struggling with allergies the last 2 days, and I'm not feeling 100%, so maybe that's why I'm feeling a little cuckoo. But let's head backstage to a family segment, the family, if you will. Tony D'Angelo and his gang. Stax apologizes for being on a different page and constantly being bad at Tony when he's just trying to do its best for the family. Tony just told him, in the good old Italian way, forget about it. And he got it all under control. So it's good to see that the family is, all on the same page, ready to go and move forward. And, maybe preparing for a little plot twist that they won't see coming at the end of the show. But we will talk about that later. Now let's move on into a very interesting match. We had the NXT Heritage Cup Championship match. Lexis King defending against JDC, aka Fandango. Obviously, if you watched NXT last week, Fandango, aka Fandango, aka JDC, he has 1,000 names, returned to the WWE and NXT, and it was very fun. Obviously, now that was just for the night of him using that Fandango music just so that we would recognize it, because obviously not many people watch TNA, but now he's using his TNA gimmick, which I love, JDC. This was a great match. I wasn't sure how this match was going to go, and I haven't watched JDC wrestle in a while, if you will. So I wasn't sure what I was in for, but it was way better than I expected. But in the end, Lexis King did retain. I did like the idea, though, of a TNA star winning an NXT title, because that's never happened before, or even a WWE championship in general. So I would like that to happen, because they did tease that on commentary a lot throughout this match. Then we head backstage again with Ava, but this time she's with Bayley and Roxanne Perez. So Bayley and Roxanne were complaining about the match becoming a fatal four-way. Then Roxanne tells Bayley and Cora, who then stepped into the shot, that she's going to become a record-breaking 3-time NXT Women's Champion. Cora said that she's going to be champion, and there's nothing Roxanne could do to stop that. Now, if you saw towards the end of that Cora and Bayley match, Cora wasn't really sure what Roxanne was doing, and I don't think Roxanne knew what she was doing either, and she was like, are we cool? Are we not? Obviously, they are not cool anymore, and I have a feeling Julia is going to retain, but it would be so cool to see Cora win that title. That's definitely who I'm rooting for, even though I know Julia is going to probably retain. But I do think at some point this year, Cora needs some gold wrapped around her waist. She needs to be built up to be a big star, because I know she is. She has such great potential. Anyways, I digress. Moving along into a very interesting match. I was not expecting this. So we had Zarya versus Nikita Lyons. Now, if you've been following me for a very long time, and I mean a very long time, you would know that I strongly dislike Nikita Lyons, okay? The same dislike that I have for Roxanne, Rey Mysterio, is the same dislike that I have for her. When I saw her step into that frame in that backstage segment with Zarya, Soruka, and her, I was like, there's no way she's back. This girl gets injured, then she comes back, then she gets injured, she comes back, whatever. And it is just, I'm tired of seeing this girl on my TV. I really, really am. Whatever. It was a good match. I mean, Zarya carried. That's my bias, but Zarya carried. There were a few cool moments and some cool moves, but nothing crazy. In the end, though, Zarya did win, which is just so iconic. Now, after this match, the refs were setting up the ring for the steel cage match that was going to happen after this next little segment we're going to talk about, which if you watch, then you know. Ricky Starks. Yup, you heard that right. Ricky freaking Starks. The absolute Ricky Starks made his WWE debut. He comes up from the crowd while sorry, my nose. Oh my God, did you hear that? While the refs are setting up the steel cage in the ring, Ricky Starks comes out from the crowd. Out of nowhere! What a jump scare. This is what he had to say. This is a direct quote from Ricky. He said, "If NXT is the future of professional wrestling, then you need an absolute superstar of the future." He continues to say, "If this is the hottest brand, then you need the hottest free agent." The crowd was going crazy for him. I was going crazy for him. He continued to say to not be fooled by his looks and his expensive cologne, because he is going to turn NXT upside down. This is a direct quote from him. He says, "Everyone's been begging the question, when will the revolution be televised again? Well, I'm here, anti." And then he does his iconic pose. If you watched AEW, then you know exactly what I mean. If not, I highly suggest you go take a look at his discography. If you have never seen Ricky Starks before and you're like, who the hell is this? I need you to please. He was one of AEW's biggest stars at that time. And he's an absolute legend and we love him. And I'm so excited that he is now with WWE, his dream company with NXT. I'm so happy for him. I know a lot of his best friends are in this company now. I know he's really close to Cody Rhodes, who's his mentor, CM Punk, Jade Cargill, Bailey. There's so many of his friends in this company, so I'm really happy. He seems very happy, and I'm very excited to see what NXT looks like in 2025 with the absolute Ricky Starks a part of it. But let's transition into the main event. The NXT North American Championship was on the line. Tony D'Angelo defending against Ridge Holland. Now, this was a great match. Definitely the best match of the night. These two in the ring are insane. There were so many close calls, which made it so exciting and so fun. But in the end, Tony D'Angelo retained, which I love. I got really scared for a second that Ridge Holland was going to win, but he didn't. Now, something interesting that happened is after the match, Ridge Holland got attacked by Stax and Luca, which, I mean, nothing crazy about that. But Sean Spears and his little gang come out from the side of the crowd. And right as that happened, Izzi Dame was helping Tony D'Angelo walk and like get up from the ground. And right as she helped him get up, she sliced his back with a crowbar and turned on him and the family to reveal that she's now in alliance with Sean Spears and his gang. And that was such a crazy plot twist I was literally not expecting. I mean, she went to Tony because she was getting stalked by Sean Spears and they have that common enemy. So I want to know at what point in the storyline was she talking to him separately and like forming an alliance with him and planning this plot twist. I don't know. It was fantastic. I thought it was literal cinema, and I cannot wait for next week on NXT to see what continues happening between these factions, because now we've got a real feud going. I mean, we've got 3 guys and a girl on each side. This could go so many ways. I need to see some mixed tag action ASAP. It's going to be amazing. But getting ready to close out the show, NXT started playing this really fire hype video for Vengeance Day, which is this Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Yes, streaming exclusively on Peacock. Not to sound like a little infomercial, but NXT went off air with the Fire Vengeance Day hype video, which was awesome. But then towards the very, 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 very end, the screen starts glitching. And what pops up? Well, what's been popping up at the end of every NXT the last 2 weeks? This weird flashing beep with the words Vengeance Day reading. And then clips of these 4 men silhouetted looking like the biggest threat to ever grace this planet. And it was the same exact video we saw last week, except this week we had a new scene. They were all pulling up these little face masks that had skulls on them. And if you saw my episode recapping NXT last week, you know that one of the members of that faction that we'll find out on Vengeance Day who they are, what their plan is, etc. I wholeheartedly believe that one of them is Cutler James. If you guys watch the show on Roku channel, NXT Next Gen, or what is it? WWE Next Gen. Jonah, you would know him by. That is most definitely him in that faction. I know that for a fact. I could see half of his face. Now, the other three guys, I do not know who they are, but I'm very excited to find out on Saturday, finally, who they are, what they're there for, and who are they after. They've been hyping them up to be this big faction, so I'm very intrigued to see what's about to go down on Saturday. Now, into my overall thoughts, I thought it was a solid NXT. My match of the night was the main event, steel cage match for the NXT North American Championship, Tony D'Angelo versus Ridge Holland. This match has been a long time coming. And I thought it was great. Plus, I loved the plot twist at the end. I would have to say that my segment of the night, which is what happened right before that match, Ricky Starks, of course, the absolute star. He is the absolute, I'm going to keep saying that. I just love his little, what do you call it? Moniker? No, not moniker. I don't even know what you would call it. His little thing. His catchphrase? His catchphrase. Absolute. He is the absolute hottest free agent, and the fact that he's joining the absolute hottest wrestling brand in sports entertainment is very absolute and fire. And it's insane, honestly. Like, I didn't expect that. Like, I knew he was going to come to WWE. Obviously, it was a matter of when and how, but didn't think it was going to be this soon. Anyways, loved it. Like I said, he had been rumored to make his WWE debut for a while, but I'm glad he chose last night. I mean, he's probably not going to be wrestling on Vengeance Day at all, but it's definitely got me excited for next week. And speaking of next week's NXT, I will be going to NXT next week. I will be in attendance. For those who don't know, I live in Orlando, Florida, so I do get access to go to the Performance Center literally whenever I want. I haven't been to NXT maybe in like 2-3 months. Life has been kind of busy on a Tuesday night, but I will be going. So if you guys want to follow along live, get live updates, all that fun jazz, you can follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms. And I will still be doing my regular NXT recaps next week. But just if you guys want to follow live, you guys definitely can. Overall, I would rate the show a 7.5 out of 10. It was very good. NXT really never has a bad show, to be honest. They are quite literally the best show. And I thought this was a great go-home show before Vengeance Day. And I thought they did a great job hyping it up. Overall, great NXT. Kind of a short episode today. We're not hitting 30 minutes at all, but it's okay. Not every episode's going to be super long. And it's okay. It's totally fine. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode of Champion the Passion. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a 5-star review. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms. Follow me at Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. Don't forget to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.